Hey, it's me, Balthazar. I'm just chillin', playing Rush, taking some objectives. We just took the base, so I'm gonna wipe out a squad of defenders. Oh, this guy thinks he can knife me, and Counterknife squad wipe. Yeah, so that was bullshit. Welcome to my video where I tell you everything wrong with the knifing system in Battlefield 4. First off, when someone tries to knife kill you from in front, you're basically given a QuickTime event where the player attempting to knife you is essentially stunned and you have an opportunity to push one button and obtain a free kill. It's not a very skillful system. Some people argued that counter-knifing helps to address the frontal knifing issues in Battlefield 3, and they were right. But adding a single-player style QuickTime event into multiplayer to address problems with the already existing system isn't a very productive countermeasure. A better knifing system would have solved these issues without need for this fairly ridiculous and unfair counter-knife mechanic. Note that when you go to knife kill someone, you get within range, push one button, and the rest is essentially scripted. Your camera turns towards your opponent while they are stunned and forced to hold still, and turn towards you while you complete the knife kill. Let's play a counter-knife I got in slow motion. Notice how my camera is forced to turn without me moving it to bring me into this QuickTime event of counter-knifing. The first problem is that the counter-knifing window is ridiculously long. The victim of the knife attack has about a full second with which to press the counter-knife key to be given a free kill. 1 second doesn't sound like a long time, but in first-person shooter time, it may as well be 5 hours. If I were playing any FPS game, and everyone else was playing on a connection that was so laggy that everything I did didn't appear to anyone else until a full second later, I'd get the top score in every game. And that's not me bragging. Many players would become extremely overpowered if handed such an unfair advantage. In Battlefield 4, knifing someone from in front is basically a suicide, unless the person you're fighting is particularly inept, due to them looking away from their screen or some other sort of barrier, preventing them from noticing the press to counter-knife button. Counter-knifing isn't a benefit to reward players that are quick on their feet and reacting fast. It'd need to have the time you can counter-knife in cut in half for that to be the case. The blocking move to prevent the kill and present you the counter-knifing opportunity happens automatically. I think if we're going to have counter-knifing, you should have to block the stab to be able to counter-knife in the first place. Also, there's the issue of the player knifing you essentially being stunned and unable to move, so you can be in the QuickTime event. Having to be stunned and wait to see if another player is going to be inept enough to allow you to finish knifing them, and having absolutely no defense if they aren't, doesn't sound very fair to me either. Counter-knifing wasn't what was needed to deal with Battlefield's frontal knife issue. An overhaul to knifing mechanics was what was needed. First off, the one-button knifing is a bit of a joke. If you are going to have a system where knifing stuns the enemy player while you stab them, and they're left unable to defend themselves during this process, then knifing shouldn't be a one-button kill where you can initiate the knife-based stun and kill while still holding your primary weapon. So there are a couple things that could be done. The most simple fix is having knifing with a knife equipped in your hands be better than initiating a knife kill without having the knife equipped. I'd recommend making it faster and making knife kills from in front non-counterable if the knife is equipped when it's done, instead of having another weapon equipped. The idea is that in order to obtain this benefit to your knife kills, you're not holding your primary weapon, and thus your ranged capabilities are reduced, and that seems more balanced to me. I'd personally prefer to have one-button knifing removed, where you can't initiate a knife kill while holding a rifle, and can only do it while holding the knife, but hey, maybe I'm just old school. I don't think counter-knifing should be removed wholesale if we're going to leave the rest of the knife mechanics as is, simply because the ability to lock another player into a stunned state for a scripted event with the push of one button to guarantee you a kill doesn't seem fair, especially when the window you can initiate the script from is so large and will force the other player's camera to rotate to get into position for you. But that doesn't make counter-knifing any more legitimate a mechanic either, because that just adds in a reversal QuickTime event if knifing from in front, turning frontal knife kills into almost certain suicides. Neither of these are fair. Making knifing risky simply because the other player may turn around is a balancing factor we could already obtain more fairly by making you have to take out your knife to initiate a knife kill first, and thus be unable to attack from a distance, and the risk of your opponent turning while still holding a weapon which they may fire, not getting a free automatic attack block. But if you're hell-bent on including miniature cinematic knife kills, then instead of a one-button QuickTime event for one player to determine the kill, if you're set on having the QuickTime events put in, you may as well put them in a more balanced manner. If that's going to be the case, then it'd be better not to have a counter-knife option, and when you're initiating melee combat, you have to see which arm your opponent is stabbing with and attempt to block the blow. Once you're in the little QuickTime event, your different movement keys would represent blocking from, say, the left or the right, and then the ability to make a counterattack, with both players gradually losing health as they continue scuffling, and an option to try to disengage and move away if the fight lasts more than a few seconds. There wouldn't be a press to block button. You'd have to see which arm they're swinging with and block it manually. I don't actually like the nature of knifing in Battlefield 4. Personally, I'd like to manage execution moves in FPS quite a bit differently, but that's a topic for another video. The point is that I don't feel Battlefield 4's knifing system or the counterknife mechanic are fair. I think someone tapping the knife key while their primary weapon is still out, and that locking the victim, forcing them into a position where they're unable to dodge or move to get a kill, isn't fair. And I don't think the victim going into a QuickTime event to allow them to be given a free kill is fair either. If I had my way, I'd either disable the ability to knife without the knife out and in your hands, and then remove counterknifing, or I'd make knifing with the actual knife equipped be more powerful, having its attacks be non-counterable and attack faster or some other sort of benefit. Depending on how well it can be balanced, I'd think about disabling the auto lock-on stun that knifing has, so that you actually need to hit someone with the knife to secure a kill. But that would depend on how bent people are on maintaining the current knifing system and how it affected game balance. Anyway, the overall point is that the QuickTime event of counterknifing, combined with other players being stun-locked in order to have QuickTime events or mini-cinematic knifing, is not a system I consider fair or balanced. If you agree, then feel free to like the video and share it, and if you disagree, feel free to cry in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later, YouTube.